This is the LG Optimus GE970 Take Apart Repair Guide brought to you by Repairs Universe. To perform this repair, we're going to use a safe open pry tool, a Torx T5 screwdriver, a small Phillips screwdriver, and for screen replacements, we're going to use fresh adhesive. To begin, we're just going to remove this clip here and remove the SIM card and memory card. On the bottom of the device, we'll have two Torx T5 screws that we'll need to remove. With the screws removed, we can now use the safe open pry tool and glide it along the outside edges of the back housing. This will release the back battery cover. You're going to want to start near the top here, work your way around, releasing all the clips. Clips are pretty sturdy on this device. Just work your way around. Once the clips are released, you'll be able to remove the back battery cover. Once we have the back battery cover removed, we're going to use our safe open pry tool and lift back this tape covering the battery connector. The battery connector is held in place with two small Phillips screws. We're just going to want to remove those. We then use our safe open pry tool to gently lift the connection. This is a simple pop connector. From there, we can use our pry tool to start lifting the outside edges of the battery. It is held in place with a little bit of adhesive. You want to make sure not to bend the battery in any sort of way. Once the adhesive is released, we can then remove the battery. We now have 11 small Phillips screws that will need to be removed. The top 9 silver screws will all be the same size, and the bottom 2 black ones will be different. So once we have all the screws removed, we're now going to use our safe open pry tool and remove the upper housing here. This is just a plastic housing, so you want to be careful not to break it or apply too much pressure. Just use your safe open pry tool and get underneath it and release some of the clips. Once you get just a few of these clips released, you will then be able to lift away the top cover. The next step will be removing the lower cover here, which includes the loudspeaker. Just going to use a safe open pry tool and gently lift up. It is wedged in the housing quite stiffly, so you want to make sure that you don't break it. Just take your time, work your way around the outside. And we can then remove it from the device. With the motherboard now exposed fully, we're going to release 8 connections. They will all be pop or antenna cables. We'll also need to lift up on the camera here and the volume button flex. We're going to start with these bottom 2 antenna cables. You're just going to want to apply a little bit of pressure up and release them from the sockets. With those released, we're going to release this pop connector here for the lower flex cable. Another antenna cable here. This is going to be the touchscreen flex cable and LCD screen flex cable. You can just pull those back. Then we have the audio headphone jack right there. I'm just going to try to lift up on the camera a little bit and remove it from its socket. It is held in place with a little bit of adhesive, so we're just going to remove it or release the connection right there. That way we can move the motherboard around it. And finally, we're just going to release that final antenna cable. With all the connections released, we're now going to carefully lift up on the motherboard and remove it. Be very careful here, as you don't want to rip any cables. You want to keep an eye out on that volume button flex cable right there as well. Just gently slide it up and out of the device. There we go. Now that we've got the motherboard fully removed, we're going to release that camera. It can be a little bit stubborn, as it is held in place with a little bit of adhesive. I'm going to pop that out of its socket. We're also going to remove the headphone jack up here. It is attached with a little sensor flex cable right here, so you want to make sure you release that first. And then get underneath the headphone jack itself. It will also be held in place with just a little bit of adhesive. On the left here, we're just going to remove this rubber grommet, which is covering the LCD flex cable. That way we can fully remove that. I'm just going to peel back the tape. There we go. I'm going to remove this information sticker right here. And now we're going to release this antenna cable, which is pinched in on the top here. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. So we're going to remove this lower flex cable. This one is also held in place with adhesive. Just slowly work your way around. This has your charge port as well. I'm just going to remove that antenna and slowly work our way around, releasing that adhesive so we can remove that keypad flex. Be sure to check us out at repairsuniverse.com, where you can find all the parts and tools used in this video. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for watching.